Welcome everybody to the Sparx Systems YouTube channel. My name's Scott. I'm joined today by my friend Stephen. And good morning, Stephen. I understand today that you're going to be looking at some maintenance items. Is that correct?
Yeah, good morning to you, Scott. That's exactly right. We're going to be looking at things that we call maintenance items or change management, if you like. So as a project goes along, anyone that's done any work on projects knows that there are things that occur on a project, changes, issues, defects, tasks that you have to complete, feature lists that you want to include. And they're available from the construct ribbon. So I've got that one selected, and it's the second panel from the right-hand side called change management. Now, as always, Scott, we start by setting our focus using the perspectives feature up in the top right-hand corner. I've been working on some Amazon architectures, so some AWS architectures this morning, and now I want to set my focus on UML. I'm going to choose all UML as my perspective, and notice the tool sets my focus now onto everything to do with UML. Let's have a look where we're going to apply some of these maintenance items. So I'm going to go into my structural model here, and I'm going to open up the class model, and notice that the familiar class diagram pops up. If you've seen any of our other videos, this is a point that we return to, as you will in your own projects, because it is definition of the important elements or entities in the work that you're doing. So let's have a look at our friend, the parking meter, the if you like, the centroid, the central element in our urban parking meter system. And we've got a number of things defined here. We've got attributes and operations and receptions and some tag values and things, but they are defining, what's happening in a sort of a happy day scenario. But things happen in a project, and one way that I can focus in on this element itself is I can see it in the project browser. I can, use this icon here in the toolbar and find it in the project browser. But what I want to do now is look at some of the details of it. So using the inspector window, and you can see that's a window that I have open here. I can click on this one and use the inspector window there and choose parking meter. Now I've got a number of different panels here. I've got a status panel, a summary panel, a trace panel, and Enterprise Architect has conveniently returned us to the status panel, which I had open a little while ago looking at some other elements. But I've got, a summary thing there, traces, so I can see where it's traced to, and I've got the details. So this window has got a number of different items in it, relationships, discussions that I've entered into, requirements, constraints, scenarios. But down here, we've got maintenance items. I'm just going to close this window I inadvertently clicked on. And down here, we've got maintenance. And here we see that we've got two maintenance items put in, a feature and a change. Now, these were put in a little earlier. So send an expiry warning to a motorist when, let's have a look at that, when the meter's about to expire. And we can look at the next one here, a change, relocate the solar panel array, and click on that one. And that one is talking about that Jenny has requested that change. So how can we enter new items? Well, all I do is I click on the main item there, maintenance, and I can see you can go new feature, new change, new document, new issue, new defect, and new task. So let's put another feature in here. Let's say new feature, and let's have a look at one here that we'll put in. So let's say we've got send expiry notice to the motorist, and let's look at this one here. I'll just close that one for a tick and look at this. Moving around these windows a little bit. So let's create a new feature here, and let's make it the viewable display at angles. So we want to be able to viewable display at angles. So we want to be able to see the parking meter if we've just moved it at a slight angle to it. So we can put in that feature, and we can say that, choose a person. Again, Casper was the one that made this. Let's change the date. Let's backdate the date a little bit here and say that it was done on Friday. Let's say the priority is medium, the status is new, and let's say that we've actually got someone who's verified that as an issue. So we go say OK to that, and you'll see that pops up in that window there, which is incredibly useful as well. So that's useful. Now you notice that we don't see those in this diagram, but Scott, we did a video on it earlier on a presentation style called info view or information view. So let's have a look at that and see that we've got another type of diagram. So same elements, we're not changing anything, but all we're going to do is show this info view. So here you can see now that we've got our parking meter and the feature has popped up, viewable display there. So that's popped up in this information view. So that's a very useful display to have because you can see that in the diagram. And this information view, Scott, is really for non-technical audience. The technical audience is probably going to be quite happy, moving between these windows over here. But when I put it into a documentation or anything like that, that info view, gives me that.
So you can create different views for different audiences and tailor the information so that it caters for their needs. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly right, Scott. So let's have a look at something else. We'll look at putting another type of item in, and let's go here and sort of put in. Let's put in a change here. So relocate the solar panel array. Let's put in a new change, and again we can click on this maintenance one here and go, new change, and let's make this one something about the display messages. So let's put that one in and say that the display messages, someone's done some testing and the display messages appear to be too technical, which is a common problem with a lot of applications, that the business people don't define the messages, and it's left to the technical people who, while they understand the business, they're not experts in the business use cases. So we can say OK to that, and we get that one popping up again there as well. And if we go back to our info view, you'll see now that display message has popped up. Now, Scott, there are a whole range of different ones we can put in. What I'm going to get you to do is perform some of your magic, and let's see if we can finish these maintenance items quite quickly. Well, thanks for that magic, Scott. We seem to have completed a lot more of the maintenance items, and you can see over here in the inspector window, or the element browser as I like to call it, we've got these maintenance items. We've got features, we've got changes, we've got documents, issues, defects, and tasks. And of course, I can click on any one of these ones here. Might have this one here. Define the alternate natural languages for the error messages. So, an important aspect of a meter in a cosmopolitan urban city. And so, it's got a list of the languages that the messages should be displayed in. And, I'm presuming that the interface would have something like a flag for people to be able to pick their country or their language. So that's a very useful thing, Scott, and you'll see that the info view has been updated as well, and you can see all of those items in there, and it's adding a richness to the elements in the tool. And it's not just class elements you can do this with, you can do it with any element in the repository.
So it makes it really comprehensive, and if you know something's wrong with the system and someone else in the team needs to be able to see this, can other members of the team see this information and understand it and access it?
Scott, that question goes right to the root of the application. Enterprise Architect has been built as a collaboration platform from the ground up. So it's all about sharing information, contributing, teams working together, distributed teams in remote locations, different time zones, different geographies, all working together and all able to see the same view of these things and contribute to them.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I noticed that there's an icon next to maintenance called history. So what does that do?
Well observed, Scott. The history gives me a view of the changes by date. So here you can see that these are all the changes that I've made today on the 26th, or the date that that's been implemented. And I can right mouse click in here and say visible time frame. Let's set it to 7 days, and you can see that these are all the items that have been put in the last 7 days. And also, Scott, you see there check for updates every 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So that update facility is looking at these. I quite often have this window open when I'm working on another monitor and just seeing the things that are going in for particular elements. The other
as a project manager, I could have a look at that list and see all of the issues that have been resolved in the past 7 days, for example.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Scott. And if you look as well here, something else that we didn't touch on, but it's a very useful thing. You notice up in the header bar here, it's got a little sentence. Drag a column header here to group by that column. So let's say, look, we really want to look at the the ones that are verified and ready to go. And so let's put the status up there. And so now we've got them grouped by complete. We're going to look at these verified ones. And then let's also drag another column header up there and put it underneath the status by priority. So status complete, we're interested in the new ones, and which were the high priorities, detailed connection error codes. So that's a high priority one. And let's have a look in here. Status verified, priority high, touchscreen unresponsiveness. Now you can imagine that would be something that would be an issue if and I've had that case myself, Scott, looking at parking meters in the city where I've been trying to tap on the thing and it hasn't responded, sometimes because it's been vandalized and the meter manufacturers haven't put in a scratch proof glass or something. But anyway, it's all there, and very powerful features to be able to allow you to focus in on achieving great results and getting value for your customers.
No, that's fantastic. So I'd like to remind all of our customers and audience to check out the Sparx Systems YouTube channel. There's hundreds of videos covering all sorts of topics, from webinars to tutorials to examples, and even some experts presenting at the Enterprise Architect Global Summit and other events. So there's lots of great, rich information on the Sparx Systems YouTube channel. Please click like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you have any questions or would like to see further content. I'd like to thank you for your time today, Stephen. I've learned a lot. It's been fantastic and great hearing from you.
Always a pleasure, Scott.